Good morning. Today I am going to be discussing speech sound disorders, what that means to me personally, and pretty much how I would explain that to other parents that do not have kids that have this, or parents that do have this and they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So, pretty much, a speech pathologist, they can work at the school, they can work at several schools. If they are referred to a speech pathologist, the speech pathologist has several steps that they need to do in order to see if the student qualifies and has any speech sound disorders. So they do a formal and informal language evaluation. They do phonological assessments. They have to do a hearing test, a vision test, and just assessment of their daily speech, how many errors they're making. I'm so sorry for background noise. And pretty much they also get teacher input and student input. So for a parent that does have a son that struggled with articulation, and thank God our speech pathologist worked so closely with him, I, being a teacher, I knew behind the scenes, so I knew what was going to be taking place. Now, for my kids, I am a special ed resource teacher. The parents don't always know what goes on. They know paperwork goes home, and sometimes they're kind of left in the dark, and it's our job to make sure that they are comfortable and they're aware of what we are doing at the school. So personally, it does help to have all of those tests done, because once those tests are done and there is still a disorder present, you are able to get the supports and services needed for that student. But sometimes when the tests are done, you realize, oh, well, he's deaf in one ear. That's why he can't fully speak and he can't fully understand you. So explaining that to a parent or someone who doesn't have any experience with this, I would tell them, there are certain steps that need to be taken. Number one, there's a list of tests that need to be done, such as the test I listed at the beginning. And then once that is done, they will have a referral meeting. So that is where they determine if they will qualify or not under speech and language disability. And then if they do qualify, the speech pathologist will write an IEP for the student that will list the supports needed, the services needed, so they're weekly or bi-weekly or however many times they need speech or language therapy. And then apart from that, they'll receive all those services at school, and they will get progress reports at the end of every 9 weeks. And then they will get their annual IEP, and then every 3 years they are retested to see if they still need those. And this works positively for our students because we are able to give them the supports and services they need depending on what their disorder is. So if it's articulation, we have services. You have to watch my mouth as I'm talking, or you need to make sure that your mouth is making the same movements as mine. And another way is negatively is, a kid might be deaf in one ear and you don't know, and you just think, oh, there's so much that you can't do, and you realize, oh, it's just because he can't hear out of one ear. If he got that support, it would be a lot different. So having a speech pathologist is very important. They are extremely essential to schools, and I appreciate everything that they do.